Yep, back here for another edition. Glad you could join. I hope that the content we share today is going to be helpful to you. And I'm just going to jump right into it. Well, a question I get asked quite often is if you are the executor in a probate, meaning you have a will, a verified will, when can you sell property if there's property within the estate? So actually working with the client yesterday, and that was the exact question. Why is this up? That's my probate workshop. Awesome. Don't know why this is up, but let's see. Guess I gotta go to the very first slide. And don't look at it like a grid, I guess. Okay, there we go. Tell you what, I love Canva. It really helps me present things and what I feel like looks pretty clean. And the tools are awesome. It's pretty intuitive. So you're the executor, you have a will. When can you sell the property? Just a reminder, I'm pretty sure you know this if you already hear this page, but probate is the legal process of settling the affairs of a decedent or someone who's passed away. And when you pass away with a will, quite often the will is going to ask you to designate someone or several people to be the actual executor to execute your final wishes. And that comes with a good amount of responsibility, and it's a lot of time constraints involved because of the deadlines and things you need to follow. And it's just a long time, but there are a lot of steps involved in there. And one of them is we'll just say there are about four reasons that I've noticed that people seem to sell inherited property that they receive that's in the estate. And one is to pay the debt that is owed by the estate. Quite often the property is the most expensive or most valuable asset in there, and using that, liquidating that can settle some of the debt. It also may be the wish of the person who passed away. They may want the property to be sold. Perhaps they want to distribute inheritance and things of that nature. But if it's in the wishes of the last will and testament, that could be a reason. And again, it kind of goes into number 3, distributing inheritance, if that's something someone wants to do. Or perhaps just keeping the property or being a property owner can be a little overbearing, too overbearing for them. And for instance, I bought a mobile home yesterday, actually, from a person who lives about 3 hours out of state. And it just was inconvenient for her to drive back and forth and maintain this property. So offered her a solution and was able to meet her needs. And it was pretty awesome to be able to do that, particularly in a tough time in her life. But let's go ahead and look at what were some reasons people can move forward with the sale. And a caveat, I'm not an attorney or a financial advisor, and I'm not trying to play one here on my YouTube channel, Life and Transitions Experts. Hit that like and subscribe. However, I am committed to helping as many people as possible by sharing my experience. And these are some things that I've learned over time. Some deals that I've done, and some just from working with some awesome folks in this family estate law space. Well, one, if you are named the executor and the will stipulates that you can sell the property, then you are able to sell. And again, I also want to note that some of these still also come with caveats, like so many things in life. But that is one thing that you're pretty good in the green light if you know that the will states you can sell. And there's going to be one caveat, the third thing that I'm going to share that has to take place. Now, if you are the sole heir and you can prove that there aren't any other heirs to the property, it might not even have to go through probate if it's depending on how you listed inventory and things of that nature, and depending on North Carolina intestate. Well, that was if he died without probate, or without a will. But if the will doesn't indicate and it says you're the sole heir, or the will indicates that you are the sole heir, then you have the ability to move forward without necessarily getting court approval. But this is what you're going to run into. Quite often, you're going to run into title companies that are used to provide title insurance, or closing attorneys to provide insurance to the new buyer that this property, no one owes anything else on it, and they own it free of any judgments, as with the exception of maybe they're getting a mortgage or a new loan or something like that. So you have to run the notice to creditors, and it has to run at least once. So in North Carolina or in Durham, I know the Carolinian is the one I go to quite often. You can use other ones, but one other publication is highly recommended. But I like the Carolinian's response. And I know that if I send a death certificate and ask for a notice to creditors run by the end of the week, I can have that run. So if I have the other stipulations covered, such as an executor or sole heir, and the notice of creditor has run, then we can go ahead and most closing attorneys will close on that. If you find one that doesn't, then I would just suggest you call around till you find one that does. They may not just be aware of that they're able to do that. Now, if you are an executor or perhaps you know someone who needs support, would love to help them out. That's exactly what we're committed to doing. And you can check us out 919-341-1992 or stateproservice.com. All right, y'all, let's let our light shine. I'm headed down to the probate office, day 2 of my 90-day challenge to head to probate office every day and and see if I can find some families or people to support and help. And that's what I'm about to do. All right. Until then, rising tides and let your light shine. Peace.